Welcome to Global Watch. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon for more breaking updates. The World Cup, planet Earth's biggest party, a spectacle that unites billions across continents, cultures, and time zones. For a month, football takes center stage, delivering drama, heartbreak, and dreams fulfilled or shattered. The U.S. was set to co-host the 2026 tournament, promising a showcase of American might, hospitality, and a chance to welcome the world. But in a jaw-dropping twist, FIFA yanked the hosting rights from the US and handed them almost entirely to Canada, leaving everyone stunned. Imagine prepping for the party of the century, decorations up, invitations sent, only to have it moved to your quieter cousin's place at the last minute. The announcement from Zurich sent shockwaves worldwide, dominating headlines and sparking heated debates. American fans, who dreamed of seeing global stars in their own cities, were left clutching useless memorabilia and tickets that would never be scanned. The US, benched, sidelined, and stunned, not for lack of stadiums or passion, but because of politics, climate denial, and a spectacular own goal by the White House. This isn't just about football, it's a seismic event with global consequences, affecting economies, reputations, and the very spirit of the game. The world's most popular sport collided with the world's most powerful nation, and in a stunning reversal, Canada emerged as the surprise victor. Now, the world is watching. Can Canada, a country better known for hockey and politeness, pull off the biggest sporting event on Earth with barely a year's notice, and the world's eyes upon them? The US was set to host the largest World Cup ever, an unprecedented celebration of sport and culture. 48 teams, 104 matches, 11 stadiums, each one ready to welcome fans from every corner of the globe. It was a commercial and logistical dream, with billions invested and years of planning behind it. Now that dream has vanished, replaced by a frantic scramble north as fans and organizers race to adapt. How did it all unravel? It's a cautionary tale of political hubris, environmental recklessness, and the unpredictable power of global sport. Buckle up. This is going to be a bumpy ride, and the world will be watching every twist and turn. To understand this collapse, let's rewind. The United 2026 bid, US, Canada, and Mexico, was a powerhouse, promising scale, profit, and global spectacle. The US was to host 78 of 104 matches, with Canada and Mexico as junior partners. Billions in tourism and a global spotlight were expected, but the America that won the bid in 2018 wasn't the America of 2025. Trump's return to the White House brought a sharp turn: nationalism, isolationism, and hostility to international agreements. The cooperative spirit of the United bid quickly unraveled. Human rights and environmental groups warned that US policies clashed with FIFA's commitments. Promises of an open, welcoming tournament faded as talk of travel bans and visa restrictions grew. The stage was set for a showdown. The Trump administration's relationship with the World Cup soured fast in 2025. Human Rights Watch warned FIFA about the administration's hardline immigration stance, questioning if fans and players would be welcome. In June, a new travel ban targeted 12 countries, sending a message of exclusion. Mixed signals from officials created confusion and suspicion. Rumors swirled that FIFA might pull matches from the US. The tipping point: Trump threatened to relocate matches from cities he deemed uncooperative, like San Francisco and Seattle. This direct political interference made planning impossible. FIFA, backed into a corner, saw the US as an untenable partner. The hosting agreement demands politics stay off the pitch. Trump's threats broke that rule. FIFA had no choice but to act. The world's biggest sporting event had become a political football. Washington had just kicked it out of bounds. Political chaos wasn't the only problem. Environmental disaster loomed too. As the world watched, the climate crisis intensified, casting a shadow over every decision and every promise made on the global stage. FIFA required hosts to align with the Paris Agreement and stage a sustainable tournament. The organization touted its commitment to green initiatives, insisting that football could be a force for positive change, not just entertainment. The US had pledged carbon neutrality, but the new administration withdrew from the Paris Agreement and gutted environmental regulations. Instead of progress, there was a dramatic reversal, with policies favoring polluters over the planet. America became an environmental outlier, joining the ranks of climate pariahs. International headlines condemned the move, and global trust in U.S. leadership on climate issues evaporated almost overnight. The 2026 World Cup was already set to be the most carbon-intensive ever, with millions of tons of CO2 expected. Massive stadiums, international flights, and surging crowds all contributed to a footprint that dwarfed previous tournaments. Critics called FIFA's carbon offsetting unreliable. Now, the main host was actively worsening the crisis. Environmental groups argued that offsets were little more than greenwashing, unable to counteract the scale of emissions. Dr. Tim Walters called it morally indefensible to let a climate-denying nation host. He warned that allowing the U.S. to proceed would set a dangerous precedent for future global events. The irony, as the U.S. faced climate-fueled disasters, its government doubled down on fossil fuels. Wildfires raged, hurricanes battered cities, yet policy shifted further from sustainability. FIFA's reputation was at stake. How could they preach sustainability while partnering with a climate rogue? The world demanded accountability, and the pressure on FIFA mounted daily. The breach was clear. The US had failed both politically and environmentally. FIFA couldn't ignore it. The credibility of the tournament, and of FIFA itself, hung in the balance. The US didn't just fail the test, it tore it up and set it on fire. The message to the world was unmistakable. Climate commitments were expendable. The red card was inevitable. In the end, FIFA had no choice but to act, sending a powerful signal that the world's game would not ignore the world's greatest crisis. America's World Cup dream unraveled at breakneck speed in 2025. January. Trump's inauguration, with FIFA's Infantino in attendance, suggested a cozy relationship. By March, policy shifts set off alarm bells in Zurich and among rights groups. May, Human Rights Watch's warning letter and mixed visa messages created uncertainty. June, a new travel ban deepened the crisis. September, Trump's threat to move matches from uncooperative cities was the final straw. FIFA's risk calculations went into overdrive. October 30th. FIFA's Executive Council revoked U.S. hosting rights. Canada was named principal host, with Mexico keeping its original games. The final whistle was blown, not on the pitch, but in a boardroom. With FIFA's announcement, Canada went from a bit-part player in the world of international football to the main event organizer almost overnight, thrust into the global spotlight with little time to prepare. The challenge ahead is enormous. Prepare for 36 extra teams, millions of passionate fans, and dozens of high-stakes matches, all in just over a year. The scale is unprecedented for Canada. Toronto and Vancouver were already gearing up, their stadiums and infrastructure nearly ready for the world stage. But other cities like Montreal and Edmonton now face a race against time, needing urgent upgrades. Training facilities, transport, and hotels must all scale up, fast. Every detail, from security to signage, must be world-class. Financial burden is massive. Governments at every level are scrambling to allocate resources. Billions in public funds are needed immediately, and the pressure is on to spend wisely and transparently. Canadians will debate if it's worth it, weighing the risks and rewards in heated discussions across the country. But the global exposure is undeniable, with the eyes of the world now fixed on Canada's every move. Canada has a strong record hosting major events, having welcomed the world before with open arms, like the 2010 Winter Olympics, which set a new standard for hospitality and organization. This is a chance to show the world stability, competence, and the uniquely Canadian spirit of unity, a stark contrast to the chaos and uncertainty sometimes seen down south. If Canada pulls it off, it will be a moment of national pride and international respect, winning not just a tournament, but a place in history as a world-class host and scoring a diplomatic and PR victory. The world is watching. Canada's moment has truly arrived. The fallout for the U.S. is catastrophic. 11 American host cities face a financial black hole after investing millions in preparations. Over $5 billion in projected economic impact has vanished, redirected to Canada. Local businesses are left with canceled contracts and dashed hopes. America's reputation as a reliable global host is in tatters. Economist Jane Doe says the revocation sends a chilling message about U.S. stability. International organizations will think twice before trusting the U.S. with major events. For millions of Americans, the World Cup was meant to unite and inspire, a dream now lost. Meanwhile, Canada's global standing soars, seen as the reliable partner that saved the day. In the North American rivalry, Canada walks away with the prize and the moral high ground. Experts in sport, politics, and the environment agree. This was no rash move by FIFA, but the result of systemic US failures. Dr. Tim Walters called hosting in a climate-denying nation morally indefensible. FIFA had no ethical choice but to act, regardless of US market power. Analyst David Goldblatt slammed FIFA's greenwashing and said the US stance made sustainability claims a farce. The chorus of warnings from academia, rights groups, and environmentalists grew too loud to ignore. The US failed the basic entry test for hosting a global event: cooperation, human rights, and environmental responsibility. Political posturing was the final trigger, but the roots ran deep. The experts saw the red card coming long before the referee raised it. The lesson: global events demand global values. The World Cup has been uprooted by politics, not play. The 2026 tournament will be remembered for its off-field drama as much as its football. This saga proves sport doesn't exist in a bubble. It's tied to politics, human rights, and the planet's future. The US faces a humiliating setback, losing billions and global prestige. Will this be a wake-up call, or just another grievance? For Canada, it's a golden opportunity wrapped in a logistical nightmare. If they succeed, they'll cement their status as a reliable global citizen. The pressure is immense, but so is the potential reward. The FIFA decision signals a shift. Hosting rights now demand shared values, not just big stadiums. No nation is exempt from these responsibilities. And that perhaps is a result worth celebrating, wherever the games are played.